This news, former President Trump is ahead in the polls, but he's falling behind when it comes to another important number, that's fundraising. Trump advisors say he won't be able to match Biden's fundraising totals, blaming billionaire donors who are shoveling mountains of cash into Biden's campaign war chest. A lot of them were in New York City last night at Biden's flashy fundraiser. James Freeman is assistant editor of the Wall Street Journal editorial page and a Fox News contributor. Here we have totals for Biden and Trump. Large donations for Biden really coming in pretty hot, right? $73 million to Trump, $61 million. And then even for small contributions, 60 to 34. So that is a significant difference. I do think, but I'd love your take, James. That's why you're here. But there's plenty of money that is going to be spent. And there's a lot of earned media that President Trump brings to this, which is almost even more valuable. But the money race, when you look at this, is it a concern for Republicans?
It should be a concern because there have been concerns within the party about their get out the vote effort. Do they have enough machinery at the grassroots to get people to turn out, to persuade them to vote by mail ballot or otherwise or in person? So they're doing sort of a rebuild at the Republican National Committee now, but money helps in that effort, and obviously in advertising. And unlike in 2016, when you had a lot of people in our industry, CNN, MSNBC, kind of promoting Trump because they thought he would be beatable, he's probably going to get a rougher media reception this time around.
We'll see how that goes. He has rallies next week in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. So he's going to be hitting those swing states, much like the president did. Meanwhile, you got all the news of RFK this week, and he was on with Jesse last night. There's a lot of points to be made here. We'll give you your shot.
Oh, good.
Here he is last night on prime time.
The Democratic Party is doing everything it can to disenfranchise people and make sure that people can't vote for who they want to, using litigation against me. And, you know, I'm not a fan of President Trump's, but I want to beat him in a fair fight. The Democratic Party ought to stand for voting rights and encouraging as many people to vote as possible and giving them as many choices. That's what democracy is. It's not... The party in the Soviet Union, the political party would choose the candidates.
So, on our broadcast yesterday, Mark Penn was with us, and he's a Democratic pollster, Democratic strategist, and he was saying that the Democrats going after Kennedy is just over the top.
Yeah.
And some of the language, Robert Garcia is a congressman out of California. I think he serves Long Beach. He calls it tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, disgusting and shameful, a horrific campaign, and that was on the day that he announced. So what I would anticipate is that a lot more Democrats are going to pile on to this commentary than what Kennedy is talking.
I think the Team Biden is very worried about RFK because he's gotten a lot of attention from, I would say, people on the right side of the political spectrum from his free speech stance, and good for him. He's kind of an outlier in the Democratic Party these days. But as voters look at him, they are going to see, as former President Trump has been noting, this is basically a leftist in terms of his policy positions. And so that's where Team Biden really thinks he could cut into that vote of people who are not satisfied with Biden, would never vote for Trump. They're looking for another option to express their maybe maverick and more left-wing views. And that's why you're seeing the same thing that happened to people who tried to challenge President Biden in the primaries. Dean Phillips had a tough time getting on ballots. They actually canceled the Florida Democratic primary. They didn't want any competition. And so that same strategy is coming here, where you're going to see, I think, more and more legal challenges as far as ballot access for Kennedy.
How do you think that RFK Jr.'s announcement this week of his vice presidential choice of somebody that people don't know, it's Nicole Shanahan is her name. I will admit I'm Shanahan curious. I'd love to learn more. He says there's no one more qualified to be vice president in the United States than this woman. How do you think that went this week?
That may be true. I think it's also true that we were talking about getting on ballots. If you're not creating a new party, if you're not trying to get a no labels or libertarian ballot line, if it's just you, in some states you need to name a vice presidential candidate with you. So she brings that. He kind of needed someone at this point to run alongside with. She also brings money. I think related to what we were talking about, this makes him a tougher sale for people in the middle.
Yep.
She is a Democratic donor, a mega donor on the left side. So it's this is probably heightening the anxiety at the White House. This is explicitly now a left-wing
Conversely, I think the Trump team was doing cartwheels when that announcement
I
came
would
out,
guess.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
James, nice to see you.
Good to be here.
I would like
Thanks.
to
Good
see
see you.
Shanahan debate Kamala Harris, though.
Just saying.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
will there
it'd
be
good
any
TV.
debates this time? Let's
see.
hope. Nobody seems to like them anymore.
Happy Easter to you.
You too.
Thank
Thanks.
you, James.
Great
Nice
to be
to
here.
see you.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.